Hello, Cotton Branch family. It is Evan and
Josh.
hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful Monday. Great start off to the week, and we want to talk to you about a couple of things. So, before we get into kind of some nitty gritty of some things that came up like literally last week, and also some events that's coming up in the next few weeks. We want to remind people, volunteering. Volunteers make the world go round here at Cotton Branch, and we need help every single day of the week. We will be updating our July schedule with some different volunteer opportunities. And then what I mean by different is we're going to have different spots for everyone. And so we're going to be kind of switching away from our Piggy Cuddler program into something a little different. So we're going to be focusing a lot more on our water schedule, our feed schedule, our cleanup schedule. And so it really is super important that if you're able to help us, you live in the Columbia area, Augusta, even Charleston or Greenville, and even Charlotte. If you want to make a weekend trip, you can definitely come out and help us. Josh, why do we need volunteers? Why is it so important for people to sign up?
Right now, one is just the extreme heat. So waters have to be changed very, very frequently, usually about every 2 hours right now. We are flipping waters, assuring that the wallows are filled properly, making sure misters are going, which a lot of different things like that we're working on. And it's a lot for basically just three of us to keep up with. So volunteers are a huge help. And, I think this is, last year and this year has just been extremely difficult with, last year not having volunteers. But, at that time I was here 24/7 and not having to work my paying job some. So yeah, it's just, it's needed for their quality of life and to make sure they stay cool and happy and shaded and have access to clean water. That's cool.
And it's super rewarding, y'all. I mean, with some of y'all know, we work with animals that have been abused, neglected, have emotional behavior and physical ailments that require our staff and our volunteers to help with. And so we need your help to make it work. The pandemic, we were didn't know what to do because of the drop in volunteers. And so now things are kind of opening back up and we're able to really get back to what we would call normal and get some volunteers out. So we really need your help. Definitely plan a trip out to Cotton Branch. Look at the schedule. We should have the July schedule up hopefully by the end of today. And so if you want to look in July, definitely look at that. But speaking of the pandemic and kind of what the effects of the pandemic has had on, we've been kind of pretty transparent with you all about kind of everything, where it comes from donations to volunteers to events and all this stuff. And so one thing that came up over the past week is something that was shocking to us, and it's pretty major, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about feed. And so, Josh, what has happened from pre-pandemic to pandemic now? I guess we could call it maybe post-pandemic. I know the pandemic's not over right now, but I guess we can consider that. What has happened with feed?
Well, I mean, so many things we've seen price increases on from, food for humans, lumber, gas, just so many different areas that everyday items that have gone up, and feed has increased pretty dramatically. And we've noticed basically every 2 to 3 months there's been an increase. And so, pre-pandemic, for example, we were paying $11.50 per bag for our potbelly feed, and right now it's at $16.50 a bag. So that's a 30% increase on that price. And we purchase roughly about 7 tons per month of feed. So each one of the bags are 50 pounds. So if you do the math, it's a huge increase in our feed pricing, our feed bills each month.
Yep, it's huge. And so, sometimes when there's a price increase, we're able to kind of adjust our budget to accordingly and kind of do whatever we can to make sure, because feed is going to be one of those top 3 priorities. Like you have your feed, you have your vet care, then you have your, constant enrichment, which includes cleaning and watering and all these other things that we do. So it's going to be those top 3 things that we deal with on a daily basis here at Cotton Branch. And so that 30% increase is kind of crazy. But I think a lot of people have noticed that across the board, really, since this year. A lot of prices have gone up for a lot of things. I know lumber went up recently, and some other things went up, and so a lot of people are kind of having to figure out, okay, what do we do? So yeah, that feed increase is substantial, and so what we're going to ask everyone is, if you're not part of our monthly partners, you can click on the link in the description, and you can help us by supporting us monthly. And so we have 2 levels, one for $25 a month and then one for $50 a month, and you can see what those each levels actually entail, and it really does help us make sure we meet the needs, especially those feed needs with that increase month to month. Our monthly partners really are the bedrock of our organization, and they really help us, fulfill those needs. And I know the pandemic kind of put a damper on our monthly partner days, but hopefully we're looking at August or September for a monthly partner day. Hopefully by that time it's not going to be as crazy hot than it normally is. But we are going to start back up. So there's benefits. You have a monthly partner day. You could also schedule a day to come out and look at some of the residents here and see who you're sponsoring on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
And so
meet them, interact with them.
Yeah.
We had one of our monthly partners visit a couple weeks ago, Kim, and Lord, she brought like a trunk full of veggies and fruit and treats for the animals. She got to meet Emmy and Harvey, her sponsored residents. We call them, they're virtually adopted, so they got to meet their adopted mom. And it's just really neat, and they enjoy interacting with people. Of course, they love treats.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then speaking to the feed increases, normally what we see is maybe a yearly or every couple year increase.
And that's kind of normal,
we're
right?
talking, that's normal, and we're talking about normally, 25 cents a bag increase, maybe 50 at the most. So for a $5 increase per bag, this is like seriously like, what we would see over 5 to 8 years.
Yeah.
In an increase that's happened literally within like 12 months.
Yeah. And the
so it's huge.
Yeah, and it's huge, and the cause of that are many different factors. Like we go through a feed mill in South Carolina, and a lot of it can go from gas prices to machinery, equipment, and like all this stuff that kind of goes into a normal business. Anything that increases their operational costs obviously has to reflect in their prices to make sure they actually are going to stay in business. So for those of you who are coming into the room, we have a lot of people coming in. We're just discussing feed increases. We had a feed increase recently by 30%, and it's kind of like a shock. And if you haven't signed up to be a monthly partner, definitely do so to help us with this increase and make sure that we meet the needs of the Cotton Branch residents every single month. Hey Amy, hey Rosemary, hey Laura, thank y'all for coming into the room. Laura, she comes out and volunteers a lot.
Laura is usually here every week. She was here this Saturday helping out.
Yeah,
so,
thank you so much for coming out.
Before the storms all set in.
Yeah. So thank you for coming out. Hey Rosemary, good friend. But we're just going to talk a little bit about that. And before we go, we're going to talk about the main event, which is coming up the 24th and the 25th. Now, the 24th is going to be our camping at Cotton Branch, and that's going to be a really nice time to come meet us, come meet our staff, and also have a tour, plant-based cookout, and also a bonfire with s'mores. And so that's going to be really great. Excuse me, really great evening. And of course, the main event. Now, why do we call it the main event? That is an event that's going to be on Main Street in Batesburg, Leesville. It's on the 100 block of Main Street, and we have a street fair which is open to the public from 4:30 to 7:30, and also a benefit dinner from 6:30 to 8:30. We have tickets for the benefit dinner. It will be produced by Delou, which is French for delicious, and they are local to the area, and they're going to be really doing a French-inspired plant-based dinner that is just so amazing, and we cannot wait for it. I can't even say it now. The menu is going to be released soon, so y'all can just see what y'all are going to have. It's incredible. We're using all local ingredients here. So all local ingredients, mostly from South Carolina, some from North Carolina, some from Georgia. So you won't see any of the ingredients coming from your local grocery store. It's going to be local produce, stuff that is produced right here in our area. So really excited about that. And of course, the opportunity to support small businesses here too. So we always need volunteers. We always need vendors for this event. So if you're able to come out, help volunteer for the event. We need that tremendously. If you go to the link in the description, you can click on that and see how you can be a part of it. And also, if you want to be a vendor. Now, let's say you offer jewelry or clothing or insurance.
Say clothing?
Clothing.
Oh, no, you said pudding.
Pudding? Well,
Like,
pudding would be
okay,
good.
pudding.
But yeah, so clothing and all this other stuff. If you're able to be there on that day, it's from 4:30 to 7:30. Click on the link in the description and sign up to be a vendor. We really would like to have you. We only have 29 spots, so it's limited. It's not like your normal street fair. We have a very small section of the street that will be dedicated for just a street fair. So
Yes.
definitely check that out. Did you want to say anything else about the main event?
Oh no, it's going to be really fun. I think too, if you're considering being a vendor, the cool thing is anything like this really brings the local community out here from surrounding communities too. And then of course, I think we're going to have a lot of people coming in from Columbia and Aiken and Augusta, and even I know people have bought tickets for the dinner from Charleston and Charlotte and I think Savannah. So people from all over are coming to this in addition to the local people, so we're expecting a great crowd for the street fair, which will, really help get your message and your product and, your services out there in front of a lot of people.
Yep.
So we'd love that. And we're still have some sponsor spaces available too if you'd like to sponsor the event.
Yep, I think we have maybe one more presenting sponsor left. Spot left, so if you still want to be a presenting sponsor, you can. If you go to, again, the link in the description, and you can be a presenting sponsor. There's also different levels
Yes.
that have different benefits. Some include dinner tickets, some include some social media shout-outs and print media shout-outs. So all of this is done to benefit the animals of Cotton Branch.
Yes.
That's why we do these events, and we're so happy to do them again after the pandemic, and we're planning more. So,
Yes.
really exciting, y'all. But I know everybody's still in the room here that just joined in. I want to remind people to help us by volunteering at Cotton Branch. You can click on the link in the description, and you can be on part of our volunteer team and help us provide for them and all
And
their
as
needs.
a reminder, July will be updated today.
Yep, our July schedule will be updated today. So, hello, Beverly. Thank you so much for coming into the room. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate it. But y'all have a great rest of your Monday, great rest of your week. We hope everything goes well for you all, and we will be live again soon. So we will talk to y'all later. All right? Bye, y'all.
Bye.